What's up, world? It's your boy, your guy, Coach EV, aka EV the Geeker, and welcome to another Talking Hoops in the Sip Boys edition. That's right, Talking Hoops in the Sip Boys edition. And I'm your host, Coach EV, aka EV the Geeker, and alongside of me, Talante Weber, aka T Web from Southern Sports Platform, and the legend, the man, the myth, the legend. Lavelle Johnson, aka Shoes. What's up, fellas?
What up, guys?
What's up with you,
You know,
EB?
world.
And also tonight we have a very special show. I am as excited as I've been in a long time. We have the 2025A state champion coach and two of their star players. We have one of the top 2022 guards in the state, and arguably, to me, he should be even teetering to me a top 100 kid in the country, Mr. Kevion Hunt. What up, Kevion?
What's up?
And then we also have his running mate. I personally believe they are Superman and Batman. I mean, they are, as you would say, if you would go to the Avengers, they would be Thor and Iron Man. And but the number one player in the state, one of the top, number 36 ESPN. I don't know what they did. They made a mistake with that. He's a top 20 kid. Deshaun Ruffin. What up, Deshaun?
What's up? What's up? How everybody doing?
And also the legendary coach. I don't know if he's a legendary coach yet, but he's a legendary figure in Jackson Public Schools. He's won a state championship as a player, and he's won 3 as a coach, a head coach. Played at Ole Miss. None other than Coach Dave Sanders. What up, Coach?
What's going on, fellas?
Well, man, so glad to have you guys. And I want to tell you both right away, GOG, all of you, GOG, you guys for your energy. You're coming on like, what up, guys? Glad to have you, all that type of crap. This ain't, this is Talking Hoops in the Sip. Y'all act like y'all on Good Morning America early. What up? It's cool, though, but we'll get you acclimated as we go along. But before we go on, let me just give you, tonight's show is brought to you by Arrows Hydroxyl Blaster. I need everybody to say Eros. Can y'all say Eros?
Arrows.
Eros. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Thanks, Shoes. Yes, the Eros Hydroxyl Blaster is the first air purifier scientifically proven to reduce COVID-19 on surfaces. For more information, call my guy Jason at 601-454-8678. That's 601-454-8678. And he will take care of all of your COVID-19 situations. And speaking of that, let's jump right in. We'll start with you, Kevion. Let's go back to last year and let's talk about I'm 51, and I know this has been the most challenging times that I've ever been a part of in my life, the most chaotic in times with this COVID-19. Talk to me when it first happened back in March, what you thought about it, and then moving on to now and, your summer, how it affected you as a player and as a person.
Well, at first I was happy because they had canceled school, but then as it kept on going into AAU, I had got.
It looked like you got muted.
You can hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yeah, go ahead. You said at first you was happy, and then when it got into AAU, that's where we missed you.
They had canceled our AAU season, and it was like our breakout year. We supposed to be going in front of all the college coaches that canceled. Then it went into the school year, and it was kind of frustrating because we ain't getting no looks from no college coaches and all that. Then they said we're gonna cancel our season, and it ain't been right since.
Okay. Deshaun, your thoughts on COVID-19, how it's affected you?
When COVID first came around, it kind of affected me tough. The access to gyms was, kind of difficult. It was kind of hard, just getting work in. Well, it wasn't really hard, but the place that you normally go to get work in, you couldn't go anymore. And then you had to branch out and go all the way to other places just to get work in. But I mean, overall, I'm just happy that now we're able to play honest.
Coach Sanders, talk to us about, we know it more so than anything from a coaching standpoint. You guys obviously had just won a state championship, and then this goes in, as you get ready to begin to, you can barely enjoy it, and then you get ready to prepare for next year. Talk to us how it affected your summer and even, your shortened season so far from a coach's perspective.
Well, it definitely affected us being able to do some of the things that we normally able to do as a state championship team, like visit the Capitol and, go down to get the proclamation from the mayor and, just different things that I love for those guys to experience that they didn't have a chance to experience. And it was a special group for me. Never had a group go undefeated in state, believe it or not. And so I felt like, those guys really didn't get a chance to celebrate it like I wanted to celebrate it. So it's definitely difficult with that when it comes to COVID. And then, like I said, it's been tough for us. We're just not getting back into our gym. So I can honestly say, since we won the championship, this last 2-week stretch is the most consistent stretch of practice we've had in that whole time. And so, it's been difficult, man. But I think everybody's kind of dealing with it, and we're just trying to do what we can. We got so many young guys that we're trying to get acclimated, and we don't have as many games. And another factor that I think was kind of unfair, but it's just part of life. Was Deshaun was he's sitting at third on the all-time scoring list, and need about 700 points to get to first place all time, and he won't have that opportunity because he's not going to have enough games unless he just magically started average 70 a game, which I wouldn't be mad with. But but like I said, things like that you don't get a chance to actually play out. It's kind of tough, but at the same time, we're definitely blessed to be back playing.
Let's go back into memory lane here real quickly, because with Kevion and Deshaun, you guys can answer this, and then Coach, you can answer this as well, and then Shalante and Shoes will have some questions after this. Talk to us about Deshaun and Kevion. We'll go with you, Kevion. For you guys were both integral parts of a state championship team that, to be honest, the bullseye was on you all year. You were expected to win a championship by most people, and that brings with it a lot of pressure. Talk to me about how you guys dealt with the pressure, but then also how it felt once you actually won the state championship.
Well, it really wasn't no pressure. We just take it one game at a time. But when we won, I really couldn't see nothing 'cause I had got poked in the eye. But it felt good though. I smiled for the first time.
I would say the pressure. I mean, the pressure was there, but I feel like me and Kevin, we had been preparing for this, since I first got to Callaway, since he first got there. So when the time came, Coach Sutton, he was like, "This is gonna be our year," because like we had lost the year before, and he was just like, next year gonna be our year. So we just came in and we just put the work in, and when it was time to come out and play, we just came out and play. I really feel like the brotherhood is what led us, to be able to accomplish that big thing for our school, without any pressure. I mean, the brotherhood we had, everybody had each other back. So I honestly don't feel like it was any pressure due to the fact of the brotherhood we had.
Dave, me and you've talked about this personally a lot. And so, but I want to ask it. I want to make sure I ask it just like this, because I want to get this monkey, this elephant out of the room, and people say you hear different things. How important was it for you to what people would consider to get the proverbial monkey off your back? Although you had won 2 state championships, you had those people that said those were Coach Wayne Brent's kids. And so, and me and you've had conversation about that. So, but this was totally your team. How did this championship, how do you compare this 3rd championship maybe to the other 2? And what would you have to say about the people that talked about, you know, your first 2 championships?
Well, of course, you got to know basketball to know that nobody else can win your championship. It's just simple as that. I don't care who players you got. Secondly, only one guy on that team played any major minutes for Coach Brent on my first year team. Rod Taylor played some, but Malik Newman was the main catalyst for that team. What I'm talking about, the team that came back the next year, which you had guys like Damian Moore, who came from Tech, from Michigan, Demencio Vaughn was out of New York. You had guys that had never actually played in the state of Mississippi. And then you had guys like Wesley Harris, who played no minutes for Coach Brent, Marcus Somerville, and all those Jamal Bowden, all those role players who actually, if you ask them who their high school coach was, they're going to tell you it was me, because they never actually got a chance to play for Brent, because Brent was always so stacked that if you weren't a junior or a senior, you just wouldn't even really counted in practice. And so, you know, I definitely understand. I've seen other coaches take over other programs with really good players and not win championships. I've seen guys, even one of my mentors, Randy Bolden, had Rodney Hood for 4 years, and won one championship. Devin Booker was down on the coast for 4 years. I don't think they won a championship. Monte, I think maybe won one. So, I mean, you got really good players, really good coaches, and it's not guaranteed. So, you know, it doesn't bother me at all when people say that, because I'm sitting here looking at the gold balls right now. So you can't tell me I didn't win those championships. But also with this next group, what was so gratifying about it was these were guys that I raised from pups. You know, they were small guys that came in, you know, and when we came, you got to realize when we came in 6'8" with that group, you know, with John Knight and those guys. So once we made it back to 5A, and we were dealing with a team like Olive Branch, I knew then. Olive Branch was one of those teams like the team I had with Malik his senior year. You just can't make mistakes against them. You got to have your A game the whole game in order to beat them. And so that's why I was telling those guys that I felt like by Deshaun's junior year that we would be where we needed to be. Now, not that I think we could win a championship before the end, but I felt like that would be the time that we would be favored. And so for us to be able to do what we did, and that's why I was so insulted to me. You have some guys who didn't have me as their coach of the year, but their quote unquote coach of the year had a gym all year. They had somewhere to practice it all year. They called home, which we didn't. We actually played our home game at Northwestern. We didn't practice at Northwestern but one time the whole year. So our home was a neutral site. And then you have players who are leaving practice at 7, 8, 9 at night, got to go home, you know, get their homework done, get ready for school, and do it all over again. And we're traveling all over the city trying to practice, and, you know, never had a stable place to practice. So for those guys to stay focused all year and be able to go throughout the whole year undefeated in state, you know, I thought it was a great accomplishment. And that's why it was so gratifying to me, because if we wanted to make an excuse, we had plenty of excuses built in, but those guys were focused on winning the championship. So, you know, I thought it was a great year.
Choose the Talante. Y'all have anything to add? Right, ask. Go ahead, Talante.
And I know we're talking about last year, so I did you guys play quite a lot last year. At the Lighthouse, when I see you guys at the Lighthouse in the hotbed, you guys didn't look so great in the hotbed. Even later, being at the toward the end of January, when did you guys think it clicked for you? Because when I see you at ICC, you guys pretty much dominated Holmes County Central that second half. So I knew then after that game, I was like, well, shoot, I don't see nobody stopping Callaway at this point. So when did it click for you guys last year?
Well, my dad had died, and I think John had uncle that passed, and they just brought everybody together to lock in. We just took it from there. Everybody, the team chemistry got better. You know, we just rocked out from there.
I would say I really can't really just say when it kind of clicked for us. I really just felt like over the few practices with everything we had going on with different players, you know, not only with, you know, the death of Kevion father and, you know, John uncle, you know, we had other players, you know, who we was trying to, you know, reel in and actually be like big brothers to, and, you know, actually take in, you know, just mentoring them and everything. So I really can't say when it clicked, but I'm just glad it clicked when it did.
I would say that schedule, that part of the schedule, coming back and playing in the hotbed after leaving North Carolina and playing up there on that level up there, it was I could tell those guys were really drained against Houston. We played Houston, and Houston was a really good team out of Tennessee, and they just killed us. I mean, we didn't have any injury at all, and I kind of felt like, you know, it may have been me pushing them a little too hard schedule wise, but I knew at some point when we got our legs back that it was gonna click because they had been through the fire, man. You talking about playing against some teams that, you know, good Lord. I mean, they were really, really talented, and we held our own against. I was looking at some of those teams we played, and I was looking at the warm-ups like, wow, like there's no way that we actually gonna be able to compete with as big as this team is. But we went out there and competed with all of them, even Isaiah Ty's team, and you know, and the other team that was out of North Carolina that was loaded. I think had Josh Hall kid on there, and just be able to go out there and get that kind of experience, I knew it was gonna help us down the stretch with those guys. You know, being able to play. The guy that helped the most was Big John Crumley, because he had some really big matchups and he held his own in those matchups, and it helped him down the stretch and gave him some confidence that he really stepped up and played big for us in the championship.
Yeah, and I know, speaking on that, like I know all the guys like Josh Hall. I was the first one to write about him in AAU season when I lived out of South Carolina. So you guys did have a stacked schedule last year. And just speaking on that, y'all press conference at the championship game was probably one of the coolest ones I had ever been a part of. You know what I'm saying? My most memorable moment when you guys was like downtown Ken, that was probably like that was the funniest moment that night that I had. But I had fun watching you guys, and I think the championship was well deserved.
We appreciate it.
I'm going to ask about something just more recent going on now. First of all, I'm going to say congratulations, Kevion, on making the North-South game, All-Star game. But my question is, I see that Deshaun is not playing in the Mississippi-Alabama game. I wanted to ask, is there anything, what's the reason he's not playing in that game? Deshaun or Dave, or you all, is there something, a reason that he didn't? Did you not nominate him, or did he? I mean, I'm sure you nominated him. Was it just that did they leave him off, or did you all ask to be left off?
Well, I think and Deshaun can answer this, but it was more so his decision. You know, as far as all the things he'll have going on at the end of the year. You know, who knows what other kind of All-Star games, and whether you know it or not, Deshaun is supremely focused on getting down at Oxford. And so he really, at the time when I was talking to him about the Mississippi Alabama game, he was thinking about, well, I'll be done playing high school ball, so, you know, I'll be ready to move on. So, you know, I think when it comes to that game, it was something that he just felt like, you know, hey, I pretty much done everything I need to do in high school and move on. You know, I'm ready to move on. And, you know, because that game is a little extra work. I mean, and it's something that things you have to do. And if you got to know Deshaun Ruffin, now he's a stick to the script type of player. So, you know, but I kind of let him speak to it. That's from my perspective and standpoint. I just let him say what he has to say.
I honestly don't know why they left me off. Personally, I really don't. You know, I don't see myself playing in the game. It's not a knock to anyone, you know, that's on the roster, any of the coaches or anything. You know, I feel like my body, it go through a lot during the season. You know, we don't have, you know, lackluster practices, you feel me? So I feel like those practices and then, you know, having to come through the game and, you know, just after the end of the season, I don't feel like my body should be able to have to, you know, go through that little extra pressure when, you know, I could just do something, you know, there's more strip like to me. So, yeah.
Good politically correct answer. You know what I'm saying? Look, you should have just went on and said, I'm hoping to get in the McDonald's game and the Jordan Brand Classic game. You know what I'm saying? I'll take it.
We told him to stop the geek.
Yeah. And you know what? I wasn't gonna even touch that. I was just thinking to myself, okay, cool. Whatever your geek is, I'm with the geek. Whatever the geek is, I'm with it. You know, so I'm with it. Great. I'm on chat right now, so I got a couple questions from people who are chatting. I told them, Deshaun, here's a question for you from Lotus. You know a Lotus?
No, I don't know a Lotus.
Well, Lotus says, what's the secret to finishing over taller defenders?
It feel like I'm on Instagram. Oh, Lotus, I'm just gonna tell you, bro. You just gotta study film and watch Kyrie and all those good finishing guys and just practice. That's really about it. And know your angles. Know your angles, you'll be all right.
What about you, Kevion? Because you tend to finish as well. It's a little different than you finish differently than Deshaun, but you tend to use just more of a. You kind of like I look at you more of a, like a bully type finisher. What's your secret to it?
Work on it. You just got to work out. Play basketball. That's the only way to get better.
In other words, weight room. Weight room.
I got a question. There's a question from Shay White, Coach Sanders. This is for you. Coach Sanders, there's two questions. Shay White says, Coach Sanders, what's your motivational talk for the team? And then DeAndre Wilson says, can you still dunk?
I'll answer the can I still dunk question first. That is a negative. I think I dunked. Last time I dunked, I think was last year in practice over at Rowan, but I think their goals might be a little low, and they didn't get it on film. So I tried it about 20 more times and couldn't get it to fall again. So that was the end of my dunking career. But yeah, as far as motivation for the players, we don't have it now, but I think they'll tell you. I'm a stickler for looking up at those banners on the wall. And one of my favorite banners is one of the years that Coach Brent won the championship, and the banner has 22 and 11 on there. And it's a state championship banner with 11 losses. I mean, 11 times somebody beat them, and they figured it out, in the playoffs and went on a run and won the state championship. So what that tells me is, we hadn't lost a game in the state of Mississippi, I think, in a year and a half. And so if it happens, I don't want my team to look at it as the season is over with. I mean, I'm not saying that it will. I'm not looking forward to a loss. But having a championship with 11 losses, that's a team that I feel like is a veteran team and somebody that understands what it's all about. And it's that February, that March time where those games really, really matter. So that's my motivation for them. And I tell them all the time, if you want to be a legend over here at Callaway, you got to get up on that wall. And being up on that wall means you're state champion. So that's all we really focus on.
You got anything else, Evie? I want to ask you something.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody knows Deshaun and Kevion. They're the cream de la cream backcourt in the state right now. Everybody knew they were coming back, but tell us a little bit more about your front court, because they really relatively new, and I don't think a lot of people really know who those kids are. So I want to give you an opportunity here to talk about your front court and some of the other guys on the team.
Well, I appreciate that, Shu. That's a great point, because we were talking about Jamie Mitchell and his improvement, and I think I would like to believe that Dylan Redmond has improved just as much, if not more, than Jamie Mitchell, because Dylan Redmond hadn't seen the floor at all. This is his first minutes playing at all, and he has played really big for us, averaging about 10 points, right at 10 rebounds a game, and probably about 3 or 4 blocks. And so, I was talking to him in practice yesterday, just letting them know, look, you can't get in foul trouble because we don't have a replacement for you. And so he's definitely very valuable to us in the front court. And Anthony Richards is a guy that changes. I think I hear Evie talk about him all the time on the broadcast. He changes more shots than he blocks, and he's a great presence around that basket. And those two guys are they're a different kind of big for us, because both of them really wings, so they give us the ability to do some more things with them that we couldn't do with Big John last year, because both of them run really well and both of them can shoot the ball, handle it decent. So, I think that with the guys like that, and even Trey Taylor, who's a sophomore for a 6'5" sophomore that can shoot the cover off the ball, he's been playing over his head, really, because he hadn't played at all. This kid barely practiced a whole lot with us. And he's a starter for us and has given us good minutes. And I can always tell when a guy is getting better, because Deshaun and Kevion actually look for him. They actually look to pass on the ball, and they're trying to find Trey in those corners. And I told him, look, you can sit over here, have you a nice year right in this corner shooting those threes. So, those guys have really stepped up and played well. I tell you, another guy, Marquise Nichols, who's a junior for us, hit a big shot last game against Vicksburg down the stretch for us. And he was up 1 with a minute left, and he knocked down a big 3 for us, and he did a great job on their shooter. So those guys are really stepped up and playing some good minutes for us. Javen Cooper is another freshman that's playing well for us, shooting a 3, I know he shoots a little deep. EV was a little shocked with him in that first game. Like, but he makes those in practice. You saw him in practice yesterday, EV. You know why he shoots that ball that deep, because he probably hit about 8 in a row out there. So, you know, those guys that really stepped up and playing some good minutes for us right now.
Let me jump in here and talk about when I think about, you know, I've been doing coaching for close to 30 years and watching basketball for a long time. I was a pretty good ball player myself. I'm better than anybody on here. But that has nothing to say. You can go check my highlights, young fella. You know, I was a real deal. You know, nobody on this panel has scored as many points as I have in a game before, in a high level game. And I'm not gonna tell you how many it was, but trust me, you didn't. But anyway, when I watch you guys, both you and Deshaun and Kevion, I see two guys that are 25 plus a night scorers. There's no question in my mind that you guys probably are the dynamic duo, best backcourt in the state, and one of the best backcourts in the country. Tell us how you guys, because you both are what you call ball dominant guards. You both need the ball in your hands to really be effective. But what I've noticed over the years, you guys have gotten better playing with each other. But take us through because what we want is some realness. I know it ain't always been easy. So take us through the rough times and even the times y'all may not have liked each other a little bit, or y'all had to get used to each other, and how y'all figured it out and how you're playing so well together now. Like, you know, talk to me about that.
Oh, my question, EV. I was gonna ask that same question, man.
Okay, all right. Well, it's our question together. So go ahead, Kevion, you answered, and then we'll go with this. Don't give me let's keep it real. Give me a little, geek me.
When you I realized that with him, my job would be easier. His job would be easier with me. So when we realized that, things get easier, team get better, everybody get to going, it'd be easy night.
I like that.
I would say just maturing, and just basically understanding that this is what's best for the team. I was the point guard my 9th grade year, and Kevion came, but I just felt like the position that I was playing, I was learning how to score, I was transforming my game in other ways, and I just felt like with Kevion there, it just made it much better. Like we was in a dog fight our most recent game, and it was kind of tough. And Kevion just came out there. Not to mention he wasn't even 100%. Just him being out there, just having the ball in his hand, and just the team seeing it, that dynamic duo out there together, it just relieved pressure because you can't stop both of us. But I'm not gonna say it's been easy, but I'm not gonna say it's been tough neither. So I can say it's been kind of even all the way around. But I just feel like now we figured it out and we're working together, and I feel like we're unstoppable.
And I agree, and that's great answers from both of you, because I can tell the difference. I can tell early on when Kevion came on and you came on, there was it's what they call growing pains, and it's a tribute to both of you that you have the maturity to say the things that you say, and it shows. Like, it's not, you couldn't, like, to be honest, if it didn't show, what you just said here wouldn't have meant nothing, because we've been able to say, no, y'all lying. That's really what it, but we can truly see that you guys have improved and enjoyed playing with each other, and it's easier. And so that's exciting. Coach Sanders, talk to me, a little bit about that dynamic yourself, and from a coach's standpoint, how have you seen them improve, and what did you maybe have to say to them to get them on the same page?
Well, I think what helped me the most with this situation is I'm probably one of the few guys that's been through it before, and in my eyes, I'm looking at the number 1 and number 2 players in the state. Now, that's not taking nothing against from anybody else players, but that's what I feel. So I've been through that with Mario Kegler and Malik Newman, and just trying to get them to understand how much better they made each other. And I told Malik this, and he looked at me crazy. I said, Malik, you're going to shoot less shots, but you're going to average more points. And it's all about having easy matchups. And when you're a guy that dominates the ball, if you don't pass the ball and don't make good passes, teams are going to pick up on that and they're just going to double you. And so getting both of those guys to understand how much better they made each other, it was a process now, because both those guys have their own cheering section, their own corner. But I think at this point they understand. And another thing that helps them is not having those 5 seniors they had last year. So, you had guys back, last year that, could take the pressure off both of them, that, hey, certain things you wouldn't even see on the floor. Now, Deshaun knows. When Kevion got hurt the other night against Pittsburgh in the second quarter, I could see Deshaun about to, every 5 seconds his head was turning to the bench trying to see when Kevion was going to come back in the game. You understand that you need that other guy beside you that can kind of take that pressure off. And when you get a little winded or you get a little tired, you got a guy that you can depend on to make that right play. And honestly, I don't think Kevion gets enough credit for what he does on the floor for us. The guy is a stat sheet stuffer. You're talking about 7, 8 rebounds. You're talking about, he almost had a triple-double already this year, averaging about 7 assists, 5 steals. And he's just one of those guys that I think is being vastly under-recruited. And, Kermit Davis actually asked me about it the other day. He saw the game, and he was very impressed with what Kevion did. But Kevion's been doing that. I mean, it's one of those things that he's that guy beside Deshaun that kind of gets overshadowed because you're playing with a guy of such a big stature. But I think, once his senior year rolls around and he's kind of out there, where you don't have that spotlight with Deshaun, he'll get a little bit more recognition. But listen, I wouldn't trade him for any guard out there. I'm just be honest with you. I think he does a lot for us, and Deshaun will tell you the same thing. That's the guy we got to have on the floor at all times.
Yeah, I think that you guys have that's a phenomenal job that you've done to able to get them, because there's a lot of teams out there that have not made that transition when you have 2 great players. And then the good thing is, what I noticed about this team, everybody was kind of like how, because we had watched, you guys didn't start obviously till December 19th, and most people had played about 7 or 8 games. So everybody was in the thought process of, including myself, how good Callaway is going to be. How good is Callaway? I still feel this, and this is, at the end of the day, this is how it is. And you guys can continue to go on. You're going to have media who has their own opinions of things. I think Clinton personally is the most talented team 1 through 10 in the state. They are deep. I don't think Clinton has, because they have not won a championship, I can't put them on the, I got excited about them the first time I saw them because they were so talented and they dunk you very much. I dunk on you. I lay you. I mean, they had all type of stuff going on, and it was fun. It was exciting. But then I watched them one game and they actually won by 30, and I was so disappointed because they were so lethargic. And so then I looked at Starkville and I said, see, that is a stamp championship team that is a lot of pedigree. And then, to be honest, when I watch you guys play, I think the first game I called, you guys had Lanier. And to be honest with you, I thought Lanier would give you guys a little bit better game because I just saw Lanier beat Murrah, and I felt they were real tough out there.
Insert the memo now, Evie. What were you told? Insert the memo.
That's right. I told Shoes. I said that. Said that to both of these guys, and Shoes said that Callaway will win by 15. Like basically, don't get excited, Evie. But I really thought Lanier was going to give you a better game. But what I saw was, and I saw this, I saw that when I left there thinking, I said, oh, Callaway's back in the mix for sure, because you guys had that championship pedigree. And even the guys who, like the AJ Richards and the Dylan Redmonds and even the other kid Taylor, that hadn't even gotten any minutes at all on for a championship, they fit right in. And y'all were Callaway and Lanier. I could see the fear in their eyes, like, this is Callaway we're playing. And when y'all hit them in the mouth, it hit you, but it didn't hurt. And they hit them again, and then next thing you know, they folded. And so that's a tribute to what you guys got going. And how do you guys, let me ask you this, Deshaun and Kevion, how do you, knowing that you have this bullseye on your back, how do you stay motivated every day? And how do you lead the rest of these guys who haven't been there? What do you say to them to get them focused?
What we would say to those guys, to get them going. I feel like it's our Coach Sanders. I feel like he laid down, laws. If you fresh to the team, laws that you don't know, he makes it be known. And it's basically just that championship, that championship pedigree that you said. I mean, I feel like all guys know that they come in, they're not entitled to anything. Not even myself, when I came in ninth grade, I had to earn my minutes. So I could just say the feeling of not being entitled is what make guys, come in and just fit right in. I feel like we prepare well for my game. So yeah, that's about it.
I can say the same thing, Coach Sanders, he run the show.
We got okay, Coach Sanders. Colonel Sanders. Go ahead. I just want to welcome in our resident Gulf Coast hoops guy, Kevin Cole, aka Cold Cuts. What's up, Kevin?
What's up, man? How y'all doing?
Chilling.
Good.
How you doing?
Jump right in, and I know you've had a chance to see Callaway. Talk to us about the coast. Because we keep it real here. Who on the coast is getting ready to get in Callaway head? Get in their stuff. Talk to me. Who gonna get in that stuff? Who ready to lock up Deshaun Ruffin down there? Talk to me, Kevin.
Hey, EV, you trying to get me to become a boxing promoter, man? I'm not gonna allow you to do that, man. But at the end of the day, man, I got the utmost respect for that Callaway team with Deshaun and Kevion, man. And true enough, they're going to run up against pretty much the best team down here in the coast in Harrison Central. And I wish them the best of luck. I'm a realist, man. We know what Callaway presents, but at the end of the day, man, you still got to put your shoes on and play the game.
Now, they do play them in the Rumble. I mean, that is the game that's going to be in the Rumble. And Harrison Central definitely matches Callaway's size, or maybe even a little bigger. Tell me, what's your thoughts on that game? Let's go a little deeper. I can't let you get off the hook like that, Kevin. Now, come on, dog. We ain't gonna be able to just let you, man. We don't do that here. Man. We got, at least you got to give me something.
Evie, you like
Trying to, hey,
tonight, man. Come on,
huh?
You like Don King tonight. You trying
Yeah.
He's trying to pump everything.
right. But look, like I told you, man, I think it's going to be a good game. But at the end of the day, the strengths for Harrison Central are the bigs, with Sam Murray being 6'9", and, of course, Carlos Williams, 6'6", 6'7", 240 pounds, South Carolina commit. The guard play is decent. The best guard is definitely Fat Boy. He's a smaller guard, but his strength is shooting the ball. So they're going to have their work cut out for him because, of course, they're going to have to guard Kevion and they're going to have to guard Deshaun Ruffin. So they're going to have their work cut out for him.
Okay, Kevion, I got to go to you. I was at the game in the summer when Fat Boy gave y'all 14 straight. Talk to me. Talk to me now. He gave you 14 straight, baby. I was there. And with the win. Team we it.
Wow.
It wasn't man to man. It was just our screen.
Oh, okay. So what you saying? Well, I just want to make this like I see. For me, is this like I think we got to get out of this geek and how people get caught up in. There's no such thing for me as bulletin board material. If I ask you a question, who's gonna win? You should be able to say, and I'm saying this for everybody that's listening. This is how I think. You should be able to say, man, we're going to win. And there's nothing wrong with, I know for us, and I say, we're talking in the hood, talking a little junk, we should be able to be confident in what we say. So, Kevion, I want to ask you this question. Is Fat Boy going to score 14 in a row on you come in the Rumble in the South?
Oh, no.
I'll answer that for you, Kevion. I'll answer it for you. EV, we always respect our opponents. We do not talk noise on social media, nor do we talk noise on media platforms. We're going to go and play the game. We
Don't say
respect
you don't talk noise on social media.
well, I'm speaking about the players. I'm speaking about the players. Coach don't play no more, so Coach can say whatever he wants to say. But no, we don't. We definitely, I'm gonna find a way to challenge those guys because I know Harrison Central's a really good team. I saw them last year in the big house over there, and they're a really good team. I know those bigs. I'm not gonna even lie to you. They scare me to death because they can play. But those are the kind of games you want if you're trying to win a state championship. And I'm glad you gave me that information about Kevion and his summer exploits because I will be talking about that tomorrow in practice. So we'll definitely be ready to play, and hopefully we can come out with the win. But EV, you got to know the times, man. You got to be, you got to understand that it ain't what it used to be. It's a lot of information out there. People can throw things. And being at Callaway, we definitely have learned one thing. We respect our opponents, and we know everybody's coming to give us their best game. So, Kevion, he doesn't answer those type of questions. Is what I'm telling you.
Oh, okay. Hey, you know what? Hey, Coach Cole, make sure you contact Harrison Central. We want them on here too, so we can ask them the same question. And we cool. And I respect that, Coach Sanders. I love that geek. I mean, that is a major geek right there, and I love it. I mean, you did the right thing. You took care of your teammates, but we all know we're not the conventional. I ain't gonna even try to trick nobody like we are First Take or get all this. We are talking hoops in the SIP, and I try to keep it, and I want to have it a combination of professional / just real,
right.
and not to, we're not going to do anything to cause any ruckus, too much, because I understand that piece. It's a little friendly, we'll just call it friendly. So
hey, look, Kevion over there looking like he just chilling, like, man, I got to get in the gym, get ready for it. And you got Ruffin over there looking like he got a 40 ball on his mind. So I can't wait to see it.
I can't wait to see it.
But I think it's gonna be a fun game to watch.
Yeah, because see, what I don't want, what I do, and I like to add a little spice to stuff, to be honest, because I want a kill shot going. I want everybody's best effort. I want the hype to be at its highest. And when we there, we're gonna have a lot of energy. Like I watched the game yesterday, Meridian versus Madison Central girls. They were both undefeated, #1 versus #3. And man, I'm telling you, the Meridian Lady Wildcats are the hype, one of the most energetic teams I've ever seen in my life. They came out on the court warming up with 12 minutes to go. They talked the entire time. I've never seen anything like it. And they came out with incredible energy. It was nobody in the gym but the two teams, and it felt like it was 500 people in the gym. I mean, and so I want that. I want the smoke. That's what we are. So anybody else have a question? Go ahead. I'll ease out. I'll ease out and just go back to the regular schedule script if you want. We'll ease out of that geek. Shoes, what you got?
Yeah, I was the one who put that matchup together, so I was the one kind of told them to match those two teams up. So I'm like Delonte. I'm just sitting back waiting to see it. Waiting to see it. I was there the day Fat Boy went to work on him too. So it's gonna be. I'm interested in seeing if Kevion gets his get back this time.
Kevion, it was Kevion, man, it was a zone, man. He was wide open. That's really what he's thinking right there.
He looking like he ain't even gonna talk. He ain't even gonna.
Yeah.
I mean, look, then you got Ruffin over there laughing. I'm like, man, he let him get 14 straight.
Kevion know what that means. He know the rules when it comes to that. Ain't no copping out. Guy got 14. He got 14 on you.
Yeah. Well, here's a question from our chat from Lotus. This is for you, Coach Sanders. It says, what's your message to the people who put in a lot of work and still doesn't get the minutes that they would like to? So that's Lotus. He's saying, what's your message to the people who put in a lot of work and still doesn't get the minutes that they would like to? What would you tell them like that?
I go all the way back to my playing days and even being at Ole Miss, and we had 8 state player of the years on our team. And, you know, even playing down in Tallahassee Junior College with all those guys that could play. I think one of the things that players tend to overlook is you can work really hard in practice, but your coach has a philosophy, he has a system. And if you really want to play, you got to find out what he's looking for. Find out what he is looking for out of you and do that to the team where he can't deny you. I started as a sophomore at Ole Miss with a team full of seniors because I knew we needed a defensive stopper. And I made that my mission. Guarding guys like Joe Johnson and Gilbert Arenas and those guys, I knew if I could stay with those guys and guard those guys, there's no way they could take me off the floor. And a lot of times kids get out there and they try to, you know, carve their own role out within the team, but you got to find out what coach is looking for from you and what it is that you can do well. And it might not be scoring, you know, but if you're on the floor long enough, you can score for points. You know, so you just got to find a way to get out there on the floor and know what coach is looking for.
That's a great answer, Coach. You know, you said something very important. I actually, it reminds me, years ago, I was one of the youngest assistants in the CBA, and I coached Bruce Bowen, who played with the San Antonio Spurs. And when I coached Bruce, you know, everybody knows Bruce Bowen as a lockdown defender, you know. But when I coached Bruce in the CBA, which is now equivalent to the G League, Bruce Bowen had just came back from France averaging 25, 26 a game. And so he was a scorer. But he knew in order to make the NBA, he had to put his scoring to the side and become a lockdown defender. He did whatever he needed to do to get on the floor. So I think you made a great point there, because I know, and even though I didn't see you play in high school, but I know you was probably a scorer, more of a scorer in high school. And for you to have, am I correct? You were a scorer in high school, right?
Well, Evie, every team I played on, I've been a defender first. Even when I was state player of the year, I always guarded the other team's best player. You know, I was just that type of guy. I love defense. I love, you know, going at guys and taking the challenge. So, you know, shoes will tell you. I mean, it's been one of the things that I've done all my life is took pride in defense. And that's one of the issues I have with this generation. It's just, it's too much, you know, it's too easy for a guy to score on you. Like, I don't understand, like, why you don't take pride in the fact that people score on you. Like, I don't understand that a lot of days, but you know, that's like I said, that's been one of my things. Both of them, I come up in the Jordan era, so first team all NBA and first team all defense is what we were looking for at the time.
So you would be considered a two-way player like Kawhi Leonard, what they call a two-way player.
Definitely, and you know, I was a really good scorer. I wouldn't call myself a great scorer, but I was really good. I shot the 3-ball real well. Didn't really shoot a lot of mid-range. I get in the mid-range area. I was trying to dunk the ball, you know. So I had holes in my offensive game, but you know, I felt like I covered that up with being a good, efficient shooter and being a great defender.
Deshaun, talk to us. Tell us, you know, you're no question a consensus #1 player in the state, and it wasn't always that. Even though when you came in, you were highly touted coming from the middle school ranks. But talk to us how you have, you know, with the bullseye on your back individually, how you have, you know, pretty much held your own and stayed the #1 player, and then when you go out on the circuit, and I know you had a 50 ball at 8 a.m. in the EYBL, which is no question one of the top, is the top circuit in the country. How do you stay #1? You know, with everybody coming at you.
I would just say, putting the work in. I feel like just not getting comfortable. You know, when you kind of get blessed with that #1 spot, guys kind of get comfortable and decide, you know, we're gonna start working. That wasn't the case for me. I kind of, you know, was just trying to get in the gym whenever I could, even though it was kind of hard with COVID going on. But whenever I could get in the gym, I just did that. You know, I actually took it into my own hands to, you know, actually team up, or well, not team up, but just, you know, kind of be in Malik Newman backpack everywhere he went. Like when he went to D1 and worked out, I kind of went out with him, you know, just to get that, you know, that little extra experience on the workout side. So Yeah, being number one and staying on top of it is basically just being consistent on your work ethic and just making sure you're doing whatever you need to get done in order to keep your tools sharp so you can continue to be number one.
And just to piggyback off EV question, when I first seen you play like 3 years ago at the Riding the Hood camp, I actually had wrote about it when I was with Phenom Hooper. I was like, this dude gonna be a top 30 player in the country. Then when the new ESPN rankings came out, he was number 26. When do you think it all clicked for you? Because I know that summer you had a big summer with Meebo. I think you were playing up, and I think y'all played D Wade's son. I was like, everybody was like, you seen that roughing kid from Mississippi? I was like, nah, I never seen him before. When I looked at the highlight, I was like, dang, he really killing these guys. So when did it really like take off for you? Because I know you got a mixtape from D Rich at the when you were in the 8th grade at the John Lucas camp. So when did it really like all take off for you?
I would say 8th grade is when, everything kind of jumped off on the ANU side of basketball. I mean, I was getting mixtape and, my name was, being talked about around the world on the national level. But I say my game really just went to the next level 10th grade year. My 9th grade year coming into Callaway, it was just, me getting used to, this new level of basketball. Also, I have never, like Coach Sanders would tell you, like he used to tell me, you never worked like this before. You never worked like this before. So my 9th grade year, it was just me, gathering together that work ethic. And when 10th grade year come, I just kind of knew everything that I had to do in order to be where I was trying to go. So from that point on, I just been, sticking to the strip, just doing everything that I've been doing.
And then another question, I know you've been like to all the games around the country, you know what I'm saying? Like you went to Dykeman the other year to play in New York. Why do you think, and this is even when Malik Newman played, why do you think that Mississippi basketball players don't get the same respect as say a Georgia or North Carolina or a Maryland area player? Because even when these guys go to these games, they see no guys don't pass you the ball, don't give you no shine. So what do you think that why do you think people actually do that to you guys?
I honestly don't know. Like I honestly have no answer for that. I mean, I feel like Mississippi guys, we're dogs. Like I read a little article about my teammate talking about Texas basketball was the best basketball, and I just feel like the competitiveness around other states and the media outlets is what make those other states look down upon us. Personally, I just feel like if we had more media outlets and more guys willing to bring guys up underneath them, like coaches just doing the extra mile for other guys, just making sure that Mississippi guys branch out into other places and get to see those, the Dykemans and, the North Carolina atmosphere with all those games and stuff like that. So I just feel like the media outlet is the problem with Mississippi players not getting the recognition.
Good answer.
Keep me on. Let me ask you. Go ahead. Shoes, did you have something?
I'll say something here, and I got good link, but I'm not sure of it. EV, we always talk about Deshaun's stature, and he had the ball o'clock in the morning. But for me, really, his coming out was, and I want to ask him about this. Deshaun, you had a really big game out in Vegas after the summer between your sophomore and junior year. Was that the summer between your sophomore and junior year, wasn't it? When you went out to Vegas with Jalen Forbes and who was that? Meebo, and you
Yeah,
all played that game against teach one.
Yeah, I think that was my 9th grade.
Going in the 10th grade year, and you had a big game against them, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a big game.
Really big game against them.
Yeah, big game. Yeah, I would say that Vegas game is another. I would say that Vegas game is honestly what blow me up, because after that game, I had people just coming up to me, asking for all my information and everything. And yeah, I would say that Vegas game is what really blew me up too. Also.
Yeah, that's that game I was referencing right there too. That's that game against D Wade's son. So I mean, it was a packed house in there. So the courtside film, I think that actually probably helped a lot too.
Yeah.
My guy's Johnny over at Courtside Film. Kevion, let me ask you this question. Like Dave said, you are a stat stuffer. You get, you rebound the basketball for a guard. You get a lot of assists, and you score the basketball. One of the things I noticed, I can tell because I've watched you, and the one thing I noticed that you've improved on, even from the summer, is your jump shot. What have you done to improve on that? Because I really feel that you have a lot of the intangibles to play, obviously, at the next level. There's no question you're a no-brainer D1 player. And let me just educate everyone on D1. There's 334 D1 schools in the country. There's low major, what people consider low major, mid major, and what they call high major. I've kind of broken it down, me personally, to 1 bid leagues, 2 bid leagues, and then Power 5. And I think personally, Kevion, from my perspective, you are no question a D1 kid, but I thought that the jumper and the consistency in your jumper is what could take you from what people would consider a mid-major guard to a high major guard. Tell me how you improved your jump shot and what you did to do that. And I mean, just to work on it, and what will you continue to do in the future?
Well, we weren't really able to get in the gym, so when we got in, had to take it serious. And when you took it serious, you put up more shots. The more shots you put up, the better your jump shot get. And Coach Sanders just worked with me every day before and after practice to put up a whole bunch of jumpers. And just the outcome.
Yeah, because I've seen you. I was seeing the other day, and me and Talante even kind of mentioned this, talked about this too. Like, man, Kevion shooting the ball a lot better, because that's, to me, because I want you guys, and I know you guys know this, people game plan against you all the time. And so when I would have looked at, my game plan against Kevion Hunt would have been make him shoot the jumper with a hand, meaning I'm not going to allow Kevion Hunt to go around me, because that's what he wants to do. He got to beat me from the perimeter. And so I saw the other day, I just looked at your form on your shot, because you're actually talking to one of the greatest shooters in the world right now, in myself. And so I know shooters. When you talk about shooters, you talk about EV, Steph, Clay, those guys like that. So that's, if I don't know nothing else, I know shooting and passing. Me, Magic, and Larry. But anyway, that's not about me. I can tell, man, if you just keep working on your jumper, man, I'm telling you, you're gonna be able to. The sky's the limit, for you, because you really got, you got the complete package. That's something I see. I like, there's a few things I could always nitpick, but both of you guys, have some great things. Anybody else got anything that they want to ask?
Yeah, and I know you guys were talking about not being able to get in the gym during COVID, but I also seen a lot of videos you guys had posted, like doing like sand pit workout. So how much work did you guys put in on your bodies during the COVID break? Because I seen Ruffin doing, I seen Kevion in the volleyball little sand pit putting in work. So how much extra work did y'all put in outside of basketball?
I was working out like 4 times a day.
Too much.
I work 4 times a day. I wake up, probably go to the sand pit, then go run, lift weights.
A little minute before, like right before the before the COVID had hit, I was just doing 2 a days with practice, getting shots up afterward and going to D1 afterwards, getting a little bit of work in on my body. I was just doing 2 a days before COVID hit.
Y'all ain't get on the outdoor court and give some guys some buckets, or y'all just stayed off the concrete?
Get these guys to play on outdoor courts no more, man. These youngsters ain't playing on no outdoor courts.
They not good.
That's a no-no for them knees, Talante.
Oh yeah, I already know. I just had to ask.
Deshaun, I ain't gonna let you just keep talking about your body and stuff, and you only 18 now. I ain't gonna just let you act like you our age and talk about, man, my knees, my body. Man, we ain't gonna just let you just let that keep sliding like you
beat up or
something. Hey Dave, I asked the other day why he ain't dunked the ball. Man, I'm picking and choosing. Man, what you mean you picking and choosing, man? We ain't trying to hear that. We trying to see a dunk.
It's right here.
I know he ain't, he's done it now. And so Deshaun, he got some more to know. Let me get that too, because I got a lot of energy I got to expend.
Oh, okay.
And so, he's kind of been, with him and Keevan, I'm always on them about this. I mean, I think Forest Hill had the perfect game plan. It's hard to execute. And when they came out, I thought it was crazy. But by midway through the second quarter, I realized, I said, oh, he really feels like his best chance is just to wear us down over time.
That's
and
right.
The way those guys play, they feel like they can make every play, and they don't really understand at this point when to pick and choose. You got to pace yourself, because you're playing the whole game. And so I thought they did a great job of trying to speed them up and just make them play really, really fast. But Deshaun's kind of realized that, is playing 32 minutes with two guys chasing you the whole game. You gotta know when to pick your spots. You can't just go 100 miles an hour the whole game.
And Kevion, I saw you one day, man. The other day, you went down the lane. You were real good at getting down the lane, and then you tricking them, and you lay the ball off the back of the rim. Why don't you go and dunk the ball? What's up with that? Just go ahead and truly, this summer you had
he had a nasty body, a vicious one. I was standing right under the basket.
Oh, it was vicious. Okay, can we get that? Can we see that? So I can make you. I'm ready to yell. I dunk on you. I'm ready.
I don't think nobody had it on tape, but I'm telling you, it was nasty. Like I was standing.
Talkin, did y'all check those rims before y'all played the game?
Yeah. Was it a 10-foot rim?
Now, granted, it was a 10-foot, but you know how NBA got that first court. You know what I'm saying? It be bent down a little bit in the front.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
No. They just fixed the rims. They had just fixed the rim.
Okay.
I don't know now. I seen a friend of mine, 40 years old, dunk off a drop step over there at the NBA now. So I don't trust them rims.
Oh, sons, I'll dunk on you.
I got a really good question here though. Dave was talking a little while ago about, and I can attest that, defense is his claim to fame. He's a defender, great defender, and was a defender at every level. So I want to ask the question. Dave Sanders in his prime, Deshaun Ruffin right now in his kind of prime. Who wins that matchup? Dave, could you lock him up, Dave?
I'll let him answer that.
I'm gonna go. I got myself, honestly. I got myself. High school.
That's I think you're supposed to have. Come on, Dave.
High school Coach Sander versus Deshaun Prime in high school. I feel like I beat him by 1 or 2 points. Honestly, just honestly.
Boy, that is some trouble there, boy. That's I stole mama car and wrecked it trouble right there. You don't want that kind of trouble.
But Dave, let me ask you this, because I'm be honest, I didn't see you play in high school, but I personally think that Deshaun is unguardable one-on-one. And I know that you are a little bigger, and I think you would give him some trouble because you were athletic at the time. But how would you guard his herky jerky? I mean, seriously, how do you?
I'm tell you, EV, and I hate to do this because I feel like I'm putting a blueprint out there, but the best job I've seen somebody do on Deshaun, he'll tell you, was the kid from Vicksburg last year. Now, it was at Vicksburg, the 6'5" kid they had. So they let him do a little bit of grabbing and holding. But my game plan against Deshaun, because I know he's so good with the ball, be the same game plan I had against Joe Johnson, Gilbert Arenas, all those guys that could really play. Tayshaun Prince is the scouting report is don't let him catch it. So I'm gonna work as hard as I can to keep him from catching that basketball. And I said the kid from Vicksburg did a wonderful job of that. He just long, he grabbed him, he fouled him when he had to. And you got to work to not let him catch it. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't care who you put in front of him, short of Jesus in basketball shoes. Once he gets the ball, it's gonna be hard to guard. It's real hard to guard because he doesn't have a weakness. He can go left. He can finish 1 leg, 2 leg left, 1 leg, 2 leg right. He can pull up and shoot. He can shoot the 3. So, he doesn't have an offensive weakness. But I think if it's one place I could get him at, my conditioning would get him because I would pick him up literally when he gets off the bus. I'm gonna pick him up and I'm gonna make sure his shoes tied. I'm gonna, find out if he want to use the ladies or the men's restroom. We going together.
That's
what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Kevion. You mentioned something. I didn't realize this, and I want to, if you don't mind, last year I happened to coach at Murrah, and when I came on at Murrah, it was midway. It was in December. and I had the privilege of coaching Yvonne Johnson. And Yvonne, I noticed you and Yvonne have hung out before, or y'all play on the same team. Y'all may have, I've seen you guys together. Yvonne lost his mom during the year. And you mentioned about you losing your dad. And I just want to say, man, you know, my hat's off to you, because I lost a parent myself when I was 6 years old. And really, to be honest, when I lost my dad at 6, you know, I was 6, I didn't really know. But for you to lose, you know, a parent at this age and to continue to play basketball and fight through this type of adversity, tell us a little bit how you got through that, and, you know, and how even with, because my hat's off to like you and Yvonne. Yvonne is not here, obviously. But how do you, how did you get through that?
My mom and my family, it's just like they so close, and they just keep me uplifted and everything. You know, you can't really just be down. They always uplifted.
That's powerful, man. That's a powerful thing that you done and that you continue to do, because losing a loved one is something that, there's no time frame on getting over. So we will definitely be continue to, I will add that, to praying, just continue to pray that you continue to persevere like you have. That's very powerful. And so I wanted to at least acknowledge that. Somebody said, Kevion, Shay White wanted to ask you this question. Who's been your toughest person to guard? That's off our chat. Who's been your toughest person to guard?
I can answer that.
Holiday Sean at practice.
That's what I was
waiting on. I was waiting on
that.
But hey, I'm gonna say this though. I'm gonna say this. If I'm his toughest person to guard, Kevion is one of the most hated people to me that I would want to guard. Like I don't want Kevion to guard me. I'm gonna just say this. So if he say it's hard to guard me, I'm gonna say I don't like when Kevion guard me. I'm gonna say that.
Gotcha. Jay, there's a Jay Maurice, the barber, said to y'all, what's y'all pregame musical selection, and what makes y'all hype? He said, what's y'all pregame musical selection?
I don't really listen to music like before the game. It don't do nothing to me.
I listen to Nico. Most of the artists is this from the area from Jackson, so that's really about it. I listen to Lil Baby too, but really artists is from my area.
Okay. William Wilson, Coach Sanders said, you be fouling. He said you can't guard like that.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell them like I tell everybody. I said, if they didn't want you to foul, they gave you one foul. So the fact that I can't take none of them home, so I'm gonna use as many as I can use. Sometimes I some of those guys I remember. I tell you what, EV, one of the toughest guys I ever had to guard, the toughest was DeJuan Wagner, and we were at home, and I mean, you don't get no calls with those. This is your road team. It's simple as that. It's how it goes in the SEC. And I fouled that dude all night, man. I'm talking about he had a tough game. He had 26 points on like 21 shots. But he earned my respect that night because I fouled him. He didn't complain at all. I was hitting his elbow. I was doing everything to him. Like he didn't flinch. So, but that's my philosophy on fouling. Now, you might get that 30, but I'm going to be over there sitting down with 5 if you get them.
Well, before we wrap up, I want to ask if anybody else have anything, but I want to ask this.
Hey, did he talking about all this scoring he did? Did he want to see you, Dave?
EV? I see EV's highlights now. EV real slick now. He's real crafty with it. He'd been another one of those guys I had to deny the ball. I just get it out of his hand because he seemed like he's real crafty with it in his hand.
Yeah, if I get it in my hands, it's tough. Now denying the ball, that would have been that would have been the smartest thing you do. But then I'd have posted you up. I was a big guard too. Now I go down. Now I put you on the post.
I don't know about that now.
Yeah, we go ahead and post you up.
Listen, 42-inch vertical, EV. I don't know about that post game now. I'm gonna get that.
Yeah, I have a lot in my bag for guys like you. Those leapers. I give you the up and under. With the left.
Yeah.
I can do it. I have a lot in my game, man. But let's not talk about me because like I get excited.
We talk about you all the time. Why we can't talk about you? We talk about you all the time.
Hey, you know the funny, you know the funny thing is, you know, guys like I see Deshaun, you know, smiling and Kevion because obviously they ain't seen my highlight film. So what they looking at is the fat guy. They look at me like they really saying, man, this dude is big as a house. He looked like a defensive tackle or offensive guard. He could, you know, I look like the fat uncle at the cookout. You know, the fat uncle at the cookout that always talk about, boy, when I was your age, I could play. and you just kind of laugh at him. But go check the highlight film, and then you'll look at that like just a little differently there, buddy. You know,
well, you know what, even you know what coaches say about highlight film now.
What they say?
They call them highlight film for a reason. It is all your highlights.
Hey, you know what?
They don't show the bad. They don't show nothing but the good. They don't show the bad.
I want to see some game film, EV. Let me see some game film.
Let me just say this. Like I said, you asked the guys in Flint Pro-Am League what I did for them. I played with guys like Glenn Rice, you know, played in the NBA, and I played with him, played against him, and I have the scoring record in that league, which was equivalent to like, it would be like the Drew League is today. So I just thought I'd let y'all know that, you know, like I played at a high level. And I just want to let you know the same year I broke the record, Isaiah Thomas, not Isaiah the left-hand Thomas, had 66 in a game. And so I had more than that. So just to let you know.
Just throw the number out there, man.
The number.
You know, I just only put up 75 in a game. So I don't want to, you know, like you know how you go 75 on the highway? That's what I put up in the game. So let's not get it twisted. You know, I like you, Deshaun, but you
I haven't said anything. I haven't said nothing.
Hey, you know what? This is what I'm gonna throw out there. I know he ain't watching, but ask Train, Malik's dad. You know he talks a lot. Yeah. And I told we was out when I was kicking it with Malik and them on the circuit, and I said we was talking about shooting and stuff because I still come shoot today. And Train, you know, Train talks, and Train said, "EB man, out." He looked at me too, laughing. Then I came over to your gym, the old Callaway gym. I was here visiting and popped in. So, you know, like all I got now is to be able to talk. I can't do nothing else because I can barely move. So I'm gonna talk about it all I can. But one last thing I want to ask you guys, let's go ahead and let's put it out there. You guys are the favorites in 5A. Are we looking at a repeat? And I already asked Deshaun the question, but I'm gonna ask him again. So I know what he's gonna say. But Kevion, are we looking at a repeat? Coach Sanders, you know, that's going to be y'all. So I need everybody answer that.
As the great Charles Barkley was saying in his right guard commercials, anything less would be uncivilized.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Anybody else got any question for these guys as we wrap it up?
Hey.
Well, this is what we're going to do. We call this is the last geek. And so the last geek is basically you have 35, 40, 50 seconds, a minute to talk about anything you want. You know, just give some shout outs to your mom, your dad, your grandmama, your auntie, your dog, your cat, your girl, anybody, you know, your teammates, you know, whatever.
I want to give a shout out to my dog.
What kind of dog is it? You feeling
pit bull. She gonna be real popular one day. I'm gonna see her everywhere. I'm telling you.
What's the dog name?
Hey, look at him. I'm gonna show you.
Okay.
Hey, mama. Say hey to the people. Say hey.
Why you got the dog in the cage, man? Let her out of there.
She bad right now. You know, she see you hearing that on she bad.
Hey, mama. Did y'all hear that? Hey, mama. Hey, mama.
Hey, you hear it on me.
Give a shout out to.
I would like to give a shout out to God first. Now give a shout out to my mom and my family and my teammates. and Coach Sanders.
All right. Coach Sanders?
I would like to give a special shout out to a man that helped me in a time of need. He was there for me, in a tough time in my life, and he actually helped me rededicate my life to Christ. His name is Eric Vaughn. I appreciate it. He did some great things for me, and he don't know how much that means to me. I think it was when we first met. I'm probably in the first couple of weeks that we met, but he was there for me, and I'll never forget it. And even to this day, he was instrumental in me becoming a minister of the gospel and rededicating my life to Christ. So EV, I appreciate you, man. Salute.
Man, man, Dave, you almost about to make me tear up here. I forgot I don't go by Eric Vaughn. I go by EV, Coach EV the Geeker. I'm a one namer, but like Kobe, Shaq. But I mean, I appreciate that, man, and I just try. A lot of people don't realize that's my first mission is the ministry, and so I definitely appreciate it, man. We give all glory to God. K. Cole.
No.
Yes. No, put her on. We got to speak to Miss Sanders. Come on. Tell her. She can't jump on.
She got her PJs on. She don't want to be in the camera. So. But she is over here watching. She can hear you.
Dr. Sanders, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Great. We love Dr. Sanders over there. All right. K. Cole, and then Talante, then Shoes, and then we'll close it out.
Cole.
You're muted. You're muted.
Okay, I'm off now. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh, okay. I don't really want to say nothing, but being that this was a Callaway show with Dave and his two best players, I just kind of want to go back, and I know Dave don't know me, but I remember when I first saw him, he was in high school, and I want to say it was South State, and they came to beat Frank Brown when he was at Provine, and I don't know if it was against Harrison Central or whatever, but I just kind of want to give shouts out to Dave, man. He put on a show when he came down here. I think he gave us three different types of dunks. So back then when I saw him, I knew he was a heck of athlete, and I see he went on to be a great player, and he's also a great coach. And I just kind of wanted to give shouts out to him because I do remember him playing in high school, and he also beat my Biloxi High Indians too. So I just wanted to give some shouts out to Dave.
Yeah, that was a big game. They had some Danny Dozens down there, man. I tell you, that Biloxi team was loaded, man.
Talante.
That's everybody. I had told my little brother, he 8th grade, he got his first varsity start. He had 14 points, 7 assists, and like 6 rebounds. So I told him, I'd give him a shout out just because he went out there and did his thing. But and shout out to all the other guys we had tweeted about. They had 40-point balls, 38. Everybody getting buckets. I'm proud to see it. I love to see it. I love to see the Mississippi kids shine. And just shout out to Callaway, Coach Sanders, Ruffin, Kevion. Shout out to you guys. And I hope to see you guys. Look, I got the bad news. I hope to see you guys in Jackson. I wanted it to be in Starkville so I can drive 15 minutes to the arena, but it's in Jackson. So I hope to see you guys in Jackson that first weekend of March.
Yes, we don't have to drive that far. Shoes.
All right, I'm gonna do a shout out and say congratulations to all the guys that made the Mississippi guys and girls that made the Mississippi Alabama team and the North South teams. I'm not as well versed on the girls as you are, EV, and the other group guys to be on with you, but there were a lot of guys that made it. But I just still want to point out that I think there was some pretty high level guys that were missed out on, especially for the North South game. Some of that was due to coaches not getting them nominated, and some of that was due to just the politics of the game, politics of the picks. But those that did make it, I just want to say congratulations to them.
All right, and I appreciate the great Dave Sanders and the great Kevion Hunt and the great Deshaun Ruffin. You all are great because I always throw my Bible time in every now and then. The Bible says, greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. So we all have greatness that are on the inside of us. And so we appreciate you guys. We look forward to seeing you guys down the road. And I know some of y'all kids and stuff, they used to say, when I be hyping Deshaun and hyping kids, and they be like, stop swinging on his, at the end of the day, man, I swing on everybody that can play. I give everybody their props. If it's your time, I'm gonna swing on yours too. Cause at the end of the day, I just love what I do. I love the kids. I love encouraging. I love geeking because I'm geeking. And so with that being said, for Deshaun Ruffin,
Geek
Kevion
is the proper word.
Dave Sanders, Delonte Weber, and Kevin Cole, and Shoes Johnson. I'm Coach EV, aka EV the Geeker, saying good night, GOG, and I lay you.